Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on February 7th, 2025. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Dew, giving your space weather update, as well as earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. We'll be starting out here looking at the sun for the past 2 days, as we're still seeing some pretty strong M-class solar flares from outgoing sunspot region, and as well plasma filaments erecting from the surface of our sun. Still very active solar cycle 25 so far. Big plasma shot there from cresting sunspot region. Now turning into view. This is looking at the last 48 hours incoming. A couple active sunspot regions and as well plasma filaments we're watching. Amazing images here brought to you by Solar Dynamics Observatory mixed with Daily Events Worldwide. Thank you so much for pressing play tonight, taking time out of your day to stay aware and prepared. Looking at multispectrum, pointing out the last 48 hours of events. Strong M7 solar flare reported today. And as well, incoming sunspot region starting to get pretty active. As well, coronal hole getting ready for the Earth-facing party. We can expect that geomagnetic instability over the next 24 hours as that coronal hole wind stream is headed our way. 171 angstroms here. We can see here the loops and magnetic fields of the sunspot regions. Look at that cresting into view on the left-hand side. That's a pretty highly active region. Thank you so much for subscribing. We are getting close to a personal goal of mine. Let's grow to 90,000 followers. We can't grow without the likes, the comments, and all the shares. So thank you so much for all who do. Having a look at sunspot regions in motion. Look at those spots incoming. And right now we have 5 Earth-facing sunspots, 3981 and 3978 still big players, but 3986 cresting into view most likely will produce some strong solar flares, as our sun has been for the past little bit. Current space weather conditions, we are under level 2, moderate radio blackout expected. Solar winds are coming in at 355 kilometers per second. Having a look at the solar X-ray flux, coming down into a C range after hopping up 4 M-class solar flares overnight. One of them being an M7. Geomagnetic activity down to a KP1. Having a look at the Space Weather Prediction Center, showing impact dates. This is still not up to date just yet. But this coronal mass ejection is expected tonight and into tomorrow, and as well the coronal hole wind stream, which is visible here in the ISWA space prediction spiral. Yellow streamline showing the increased solar winds most likely will hop up to about 500 to 600 kilometers per second. Having a look at LASCO 2, big coronal mass ejection out the north there. Amazing images brought to you by LASCO 2, NASA, and SOHO. We've seen a couple pretty large coronal mass ejections from the southern hemisphere and the north in the polar regions. Looking at wide spectrum here, we've got Mercury getting ready for the backside retrograde. Big CME coming out of the southern pole there. And another one out of the north. Right there. Amazing days to be alive, and so grateful to have you aboard. Having a look at tonight's aurora forecast versus tomorrow's. Slight likelihood of auroras. Let's get to earthquakes past 24 hours, as we did have a large earthquake, actually, a 6.0 magnitude earthquake rocking Fiji today, 59-kilometer depth. That's the largest we've seen in a couple weeks. We also saw a pretty deep earthquake, 4.4, 491 kilometer depth, Fiji. It's been an active day across the Pacific Plate. Pretty deep earthquake by Luatolo and Luatobi volcanoes, 4.8, 494 kilometer depth. 5.8 magnitude earthquake, Sumatra, Indonesia, right off the coast of Krakatoa. Activity coming back to Ethiopia, 4.6 and a 4.8. Greece is still popping off, and Malta, Italy, reporting a 5.1 magnitude today, 66 kilometer depth. That is right in between Etna and Stromboli. African plate, Eurasia plate, Arabian plate is a very hot spot right now. Thoughts and prayers going out to everybody that will be affected by these great changes that are coming. 4.4 El Salvador, 4.5 Colombia. Some deep earthquakes, Peru, Caracoto, 214 kilometer depth and a 200 kilometer depth. Notable are the depths today. That means a deep tectonic movement across the North American plate. Minor seismicity, 3.4 being the largest across American soil. USGS is reporting 216 earthquakes in the past 24 hours. But we're seeing increased seismicity north and west of Yellowstone, with a minor earthquake being reported. Mammoth, Wyoming, and as well Stanley, Idaho 2.0. Couple shakers at Mount St. Helens. And notable minor seismicity, San Francisco Bay. But no swarms, no major or notable swarms to talk about right now. Just minor and normal California seismicity. Across Alaska, largest being a 4.1, Aleutian Islands, Atka. Look at Japan, right up north into Kamchatka. So yeah, active 24 hours. But a 6.0, I don't think that's big enough for the release that I'm expecting here. 6.8 to 7.3 over the next 24 to 48 hours. It is building, my friends and family. Something is brewing. We need to be aware and prepared. And that's what this is all about. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey and a part of this channel now for 7 years broadcasting. Interesting activity going on in Greece. Lots of submarine volcanoes through the region. We've seen multiple submarine volcanoes awaken over the past decade. Bonin Islands region, south of Japan, Hongatonga and Fiji. Heads up, Pacific Plate, up into the Fuka. All right, let's have a look at the sulfur dioxide emissions for the next 3 days. Heavy particulates coming out of Mexico, Hawaii, and as well Alaska over the next 3 days. Some pretty intense particulates coming out of South Korea as well. Japan, as Sakurajima had a pretty large eruption the other day. African plate seems to be quieting down a little bit. Lots of SO2 through India, nasty air quality through India. And then looking here across the North Atlantic, got to wonder where that sulfur dioxide plume is coming from. Right over La Palma. And notable SO2 coming out over Greece and parts of the Arabian plate and into Eurasia, which is a little bit, actually, it's a pretty big concern right now, considering tens of thousands of people have been evacuated from local islands around Santorini. Let's have a look at the windy forecast, showing wind gusts as we've got some strong systems coming through this week, and they're going to be mostly snow. Watch by Wednesday into Thursday. Major snowfall storm expected for northeastern United States and eastern Canada. And then watch for a couple strong lows to come in through the west and develop a major blizzard and strong storm conditions for eastern Canada, and it will persist for days right up until the 22nd of February before the major snowfall comes, as that low pressure system over the Hudson Bay is going to be fueling down tons of cold air and moisture. Strong system there through the North Atlantic. And look at that low for the long range forecast. 22nd of February, strong, cold, snowy low. Let's have a look at the southern hemisphere now. Overlooking Australia, as we've seen multiple cyclones forecast, and the models are just grazing the Australian continent. But some pretty strong lows south of the continent, or sorry, south of the continent, are major, very strong, maintaining their velocity, and watch for very windy, stormy conditions across the Australian continent, as one cyclone will be making complete landfall in the long range. Overlooking North Pacific, same thing. Major low pressure system developing. This thing is a beast. It takes up all of the North Pacific Ocean. Something's wrong here, folks. Much love, everybody, and I thank you so much, because I've been warning about these changes for 7 years. Actually, I've been talking about it for 20, maybe even 25 years. And some used to call me crazy. And some are saying, wow, okay, yeah, maybe you're onto something here. But at any rate, we're still keeping humanity aware and prepared. Thanks for watching tonight. Stay aware and prepared, stay young and have fun, and get your daily view.